Imagine a world where Bijan Robinson is wearing Chicago colors and lined up right behind Caleb Williams in an offense designed by Ben Johnson. The media noise is getting louder, and national pundits are tossing around blockbuster trade scenarios that sound like pure video game fantasy. But is there actually a realistic path to pulling off a move of this magnitude, or are we just getting sucked into complete smoke and mirrors? Before we break down this massive rumor and everything else around the roster, hit that like button, share this video with every fan you know, and subscribe so you never miss a beat. Look, when national commentators throw out insane trade proposals, most of the time you just have to roll your eyes and move on. But when the idea of pulling Atlanta's superstar running back into this backfield gets brought up, you can't help but let your mind run wild. The argument being made is that pairing a talent like Bijan Robinson with Caleb Williams would essentially make this offense an unstoppable juggernaut in the NFC North. They point to the famous Christian McCaffrey deal as the perfect blueprint, suggesting it would take 2 first-round draft picks to pull Bijan away from Atlanta. But let's pause and do a quick reality check on that math. Have we completely forgotten what the San Francisco trade for McCaffrey actually looked like? That deal involved a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth-round pick. Sure, that was a massive package for a running back who had been dealing with injuries in Carolina, but 4 mid-round picks do not equal 2 shiny first-rounders. 2 first-round picks is an astronomical price tag. In reality, a McCaffrey-style package equals roughly a first and a third, or maybe a first and a fourth. Is a player like Bijan Robinson truly worth giving up that kind of premium draft capital? There is no denying his unbelievable talent. He is a dynamic, physical running back who can bounce off tackles, break open explosive runs, and turn simple checkdowns into massive gains. He caught 79 passes last year alone. He isn't just a workhorse running back. He is practically your second or third main wide receiver in terms of sheer production out of the backfield. Put him in Ben Johnson's offensive scheme, behind a rebuilt offensive line, next to Caleb Williams, and surrounded by this dynamic passing attack, and he would be utterly electric. But giving up 2 first-round picks for a running back, that is a line almost no sane front office should cross. A first and a third-round pick is the absolute maximum limit any team should even consider. Beyond the trade compensation, why on earth would Atlanta even agree to trade him? Unless a player demands an outrageous salary that a rebuilding team refuses to pay, franchises do not just ship away elite young superstars entering the absolute prime of their careers. We know both Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs have been watching the market closely and seeking new deals, but Atlanta trading him during training camp feels extremely unlikely. It isn't like the situation with Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis a while back, where an older back on a struggling team might be moved mid-season. Atlanta is going to find a way to keep their star. And even if they somehow put him on the trading block, any team acquiring him would immediately have to hand him a massive contract extension, potentially in the range of $24 million per year. As incredible as the fit would be, the sheer financial commitment and trade costs make it a total long shot. That brings us directly to our official question of the day, and I want everyone to drop their thoughts in the comments section below. What is the absolute highest draft pick package you would be willing to give up to trade for Bijan Robinson, or would you pass on him entirely? Let me know down in the comments. While trade rumors generate huge headlines, the real key to long-term success is managing the salary cap and paying your homegrown stars. Look at the impressive young talent assembled here with Caleb Williams, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, Darnell Wright, and Rome Odunze. How do you manage to pay all of those guys without destroying your roster structure? The good news is that you don't have to pay everyone at the exact same time. Guys like Luther Burden and Colston Loveland are still early in their rookie deals and won't even be eligible for contract extensions until after next season. The cap hits naturally get spaced out over time. However, tough decisions are definitely coming down the road. The immediate top priority has to be locking up Darnell Wright to a long-term extension. He earned second-team All-Pro honors last year, and securing an elite, anchor right tackle is non-negotiable for protecting your franchise quarterback. And speaking of Caleb Williams, if he delivers the huge season everyone expects, his extension eventually becomes the single highest priority in the entire organization. But when you look at the wide receiver position, things get interesting. Rome Odunze is approaching a critical stretch. If he doesn't explode with a huge year, an immediate extension might get put on hold. Down the line, the front office might have to choose between keeping Rome or paying Luther Burden. You can't keep every single weapon, especially when you already have Colston Loveland establishing himself as one of the elite receiving tight ends in the league. Tough choices are inevitable, but having too much elite talent is the best problem a franchise can possibly have. Switching over to the defensive side of the football, depth in the secondary is becoming a burning question mark. If Kyler Gordon is forced to miss time with an injury, does this pass defense have a major vulnerability that opposing coordinators can exploit? We all remember how defensive backs like C.J. Gardner-Johnson struggled when exposed in man-to-man coverage during high-stakes playoff games. Having a single weak link in the secondary can cause an entire defensive structure to crumble. That is why keeping an eye on veteran free agent cornerbacks like Kenny Moore too makes so much sense as training camp progresses. If none of the young depth options step up and claim the slot role, bringing in a reliable veteran on a team-friendly contract worth $3 or $4 million could be a brilliant move for a contender. Right now, if the season started today and Kyler Gordon wasn't available, Cam Lewis looks like the primary option to take reps at nickel because of his extensive experience as a safety-nickel hybrid. The dream scenario would be seeing rookie corner Malik Muhammad step up and grab that job, but his skill set appears much better suited to playing on the outside. Allowing Malik to develop as the primary fourth cornerback who can step in outside if injuries strike might be the best path forward for his growth. Over on offense, the tight end room presents another fascinating dynamic. What happens with Cole Kmet moving forward? The team restructured his deal to push cap hits into next year, where his cap number jumps significantly. While some speculate the team could draft another tight end next year or even explore a trade, both sides seem genuinely committed to each other. Cole is a Chicago native, he loves playing here, and he is a vital piece of a winning culture. Restructuring his deal, or agreeing to an extension to keep the tight end room intact alongside Colston Loveland gives this offense an incredible multi-tight end attack for years to come. As for rookie tight end Sam Roush, expectations need to be kept in perspective. Last year, depth tight ends like Durham Smythe only caught 5 passes as checkdown options. While Sam Roush is a much more dynamic receiver who will definitely see the field because of heavy 12 and 13 personnel groupings, he sits fairly low on the target hierarchy behind top wideouts, primary tight ends, and pass-catching running backs. Catching around 13 passes while developing his game behind the veteran starters would mark a solid rookie campaign. For Caleb Williams to truly explode and potentially lead the entire league in touchdown passes, he needs his top playmakers to step up in a big way. At least 2 of his primary targets, whether it is Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, or Colston Loveland, need to put up 1,000 receiving yards. Loveland showed dominance in the second half of last season and during the playoffs against Green Bay, proving he is already a top-tier receiving tight end. If 2 of those targets crack 4-digit yards, seeing Caleb throw 40 touchdowns this season is completely within reach. Even in fantasy football, choosing between these targets is a fun debate. While Luther Burden has immense upside, taking Colston Loveland is the smarter play simply because elite, high-volume tight ends are so rare. Burden and Odunze will likely share target volume as great secondary fantasy options, but Loveland has the path to be an absolute top-tier fantasy monster at his position. This offense is primed for a massive season,